Hello everyone, my name is Maggie Tolan and I hope to be one of many that you're going to encounter on your journey through orientation and at VCU on what we call a Spark Champion. I'm the Senior Associate Vice Provost for Student Success. Some of the areas I work with are the academic advisors, the career counselors, the tutoring tutors and supplemental instruction, and just many other entities across campus that we hope will support your journey at VCU. One of the tools that we hope that you'll engage with and that we think will help you the most in navigating the next 4 years towards your career goals is what we call VCU Major Maps. Let's start with a little video about Sparkology.
Spark. I've been working in this space now for about 10 years. My team of scientists and I at Search Institute have been creating a science of human thriving with a particular eye to children and teenagers. Thriving begins with the idea of the human spark. It's the metaphor I use to define that animating engine, that thing about a young person that gives them joy and energy, the reason why some will seek to actually get up in the morning and get moving, something that gives their life hope and direction and purpose. Spark, by the way, is very akin to the idea of spirit. Spirit is from the Latin spiritus, and you know what that means? My breath. My breath put into the world with vigor and courage. My breath. It's the ultimate question to ask each other, and particularly to ask our young. What is your breath? What is your spark?
So Sparkology at VCU. What is it that is your spark? Well, when we asked you in your survey that you either filled out this morning or the last couple days, we asked you specifically, my parents strongly encouraged me to choose my major. And out of all of our first year students, 40% of you said yes, my parents actually influenced that decision. But when we asked you additional questions and we asked, what do you think you're going to need help with as an incoming first-year student, 5 of your top 10 answers actually focused on major and career-related issues, in addition to making friends, etc. 5 of 10, and actually 76% of you said that you wanted help choosing a major, which is perfect, because what we think is that we don't define our students or ourselves by what our major is, but what we hope to bring to the world or impact or influence. So with that, let's talk about your spark at VCU and our approach to helping you determine and grow that spark. So VCU has given you access to peoples and opportunities. You've made it into the university, but what our goal is to try to move you out of your current state of kind of maybe I have a Starbucks job, this is how I'm paying my bills, and over 4 years move you towards your goal of what is it that is that spark, that thing that you want to become. And therefore, if it is to become the next Stan Lee or the next Hamilton producer or whatever, our goal is to say over 4 years, how do we move you to that objective? And so we propose to do that using our major maps. So the shift that we're asking you to make is to move out of, I just need to reach this one goal, which is graduate in 4 years. We already did that in high school and you are successful, you've made it to VCU, but what we're advocating to work with you over the next 4 years is to instead say, you tell me, and when we talk to our advisors, the career counselors, in 4 years, I want to affect this thing. I want to be doing this. I want to create this, whatever this might be. And here is how we might help you over the next 4 years plan to be accomplishing that goal. So what we have are our major maps at VCU. And what you'll see in the first year is a strong exploration component. What we know is that students who actually explore majors graduate faster than those that declare a major and actually try to persist and then decide 2 years into it that they want to change course, which adds additional years of education. So in that first year, you're going to see a lot about doing some self-assessments like the survey you already just completed. It will talk about how to build friendships, how to connect with faculty, how to start getting connected to the university. In the second and third years, we like to call this part of the map the experience components. What we're saying is in the first year, I've explored, I've eliminated some options, but in year 2 and year 3, I'm going to really dig in and start to focus in on meeting people that do what I think I might want to do in the world. I might want to start engaging with some specific clubs and organizations. I want to start building on my foreign language because I see myself traveling. I need scholarships, so maybe I'll do a study abroad to do that. I need to start working on my resume. But in these 2 to 3 years, this is about showing us and trying to work on the skill sets that you know the employers and our future graduate programs are going to be seeking from you. And our goal is by the 4th year is that you now know how to do exactly what you need to do for that next job. Not just that you've studied about it, but that you actually have performed in it through internships, service learnings, etc. And so by the 4th year, we're hoping to have what we call this being the excelling year, that now you're just putting your materials together and applying for those opportunities and being the most outstanding candidate. How are we going to do that? So that's kind of what we say are our pillars. Number 1, we're going to make sure that you complete your coursework in the order so that you're not adding 5th and 6th years, that we also do it for the minimal amount of debt, because I know that's on your minds. Number 2, we're going to start building your social capital and your networks. What we know is that of all the jobs that are posted today in the world, only 15% of those jobs will be on a website. 85% of the jobs that you will be seeking are going to be through people you know. And so if we don't help you build those networks and those connections, you'll only have access to 15% of the jobs. The next piece we want to make sure, particularly as a VCU RAM, is that we have cultural competence, that you can work with individuals different than yourself, perhaps add foreign languages, that you've traveled globally. So any of these opportunities are ways to show that you can be part of a team. But the biggest component that I would say when you couple the first 3 pillars is how do you take all of that and actually get that real experience? And so while we say year 2 and 3 is about experience, this column is actually trying to figure out ways for you to get connected with your resume, getting into our job boards, building your LinkedIn profiles, things that we'll walk you through. But at the end of the day is how do we start to show employers that you know how to do what it is that you have studied? And also we want to make sure that you're preparing for life after college. So for many of the professions and career paths that a lot of you might be thinking about, we need to make sure that maybe you have the right credit score. We need to make sure that you have your letters of recommendation. We might need to make sure that you've had certain opportunities with certain organizations in order to get into that ideal one 4 years from now. So all of that is built into these maps. With Major Maps, what we're hoping to do is engage you with all of what we call the Spark Champions at VCU. I've already said that I hope to be your first one, but as you look around today, a lot of those orientation leaders, the hall directors, people that are going to be presenting to you, anywhere from our police to the librarian to anyone on campus, you take your Major Map, you sit down with any of these folks and you talk through and say, how can you help me navigate? How can you help me build these skills? And at the end of the day, if you have no one else that you can connect with, you find me on campus. There's my email. But your journey with our Major Maps, we hope to be the most productive, engaging, spark-filled journey for the next 4 years. Welcome to VCU, and we look forward to working with you.